it was it was it was never it was bad.
For him, the Dennis Leary, he was a doctor, right? And he became
Yeah,
famous because he was anti-culture. He was, what do they call it? Cross culture, right? So he was promoting with the hippies using acid, LSD. But I thought you would have respected him because here he was, a well-educated, supposedly, at that time, a doctor, but he was just going against the institution, right? But you're against anyone that does drugs.
yeah,
You're against it, or you just don't do it.
against it,
You mean you're against them, or you're against
against O'Leary.
O'Leary? So if someone's a drug user, you actually don't like them.
No,
That's not very Buddhist of you.
but let's go. I was against what?
See, I'm not opinionated. I try not to be opinionated. That's Buddhism to me. Like, to each their own, right? So you can be against something, but as a Buddhist, right, you don't want to be opinionated. You don't want to dislike somebody or hate them because they do something that you disagree with.
No, sometimes you gotta make a stand.
Do you think the Dalai Lama hates anybody?
Do I make against who?
Do you think the Dalai Lama, who's arguably one of the most studied Buddhists on our planet, do you think he hates anybody? I don't think so. He might disagree with certain beliefs and certain things that individuals do. He's against war, but we humans still fight in wars. But I don't think he hates Putin, and I don't think he hates Zelensky, the two presidents of the countries. So when it comes to drugs, I know you were always a teetotaler, like your sister. Now, but your sister was Catholic, Jay, very Old Testament. So Carrie hates, if you didn't agree with her, she hated you, especially later on in life. Now, if you disagree with somebody, do you hate them? I've never known you to hate anybody.
Yeah, in a way.
You do. And you'd say that's a Buddhist philosophy to think that way?
Well, there's eight levels. So yes, at the high, at the low, and it's just everybody.
So you don't think you've reached a high level of Buddhism that you still hate people?
Well, in some ways, I'm better.
Why? Because your true nature, because you're following your true nature?
Well, I always believed it myself, and Buddhism, absolute, absolute.
I agree with you on certain levels. To me, though, I view Buddhism as a peaceful religion, right?
Well, it's still national. It's national in some ways. It changed from country to country.
No, I agree with you. But have you ever known Buddhists to wage a war, to be the first religion or people to go into war? Never.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Right. So I don't think it's ingrained. If you really read Buddhist philosophy, it's not ingrained to see a right or wrong. It's a yin yang, to look at the world as parallels, and to understand that there's parallels. and be comfortable with it, but not hate one or the other. Look at it as a whole, right?
Go over that.
As opposed to the Old Testament, let's use the Bible, for example. Heaven and earth, hell and brimstone, right? There's two sides. One's good, one is evil. Okay? And they view themselves as the Almighty, the righteous. As opposed to Buddhism, a Buddhist philosophy is not right or wrong. It's looking at everything as a balance, as a circle. And to understand that there's differences, but not to hate somebody for being different than you.
It would be great if that's what I did.
But you didn't. You don't think you think you're more like your sister than you are Buddha. Do you think this was part of your Catholic upbringing with Rini and Louis?